Well, absolutely famous this season will be following the fortunes of the mighty Buller rugby team in the New Zealand Heartland rugby competition. Buller, of course, situated on the beautiful west coast of the South Island, and Westport is the headquarters, scene of many a great Heartland battle there. And joining us on the show is Buller Rugby Union CEO Andrew Duncan and Buller's Heartland representative coach Nathan Thompson. Welcome, lads. Great to have you.
Thanks, John. Thanks for the opportunity to talk.
Well, Andrew, we'll start with a pretty exciting club final in Buller last weekend. White Star got up 28-18 over Westport at Victoria Square, and you had a pretty good view of it because you were an assistant referee as well.
Yeah, that's right, John. It was a really good finale to the club season. We had, of course, the defending champions Westport in the final again, and they had gone through by virtue as top qualifier, and they took on a White Star club who were celebrating their 125th Jubilee. They managed to get up in the semi-final over Reefton and then tipped up Westport in the final in quite a close game.
Yeah, that's terrific. So how was the club scene this year? I know some provinces are struggling for numbers. My old province of Marlborough is one of them, but how are you guys going?
Well, I guess when you look at the context, Buller's the smallest provincial union in New Zealand in terms of playing numbers and size, and we've managed to retain 4 clubs throughout the competition with White Star, Westport, Reefton and Old Boys. And yeah, it was a really close competition this year. All 4 teams had an opportunity, towards the back end of the competition to play playoffs rugby. And in the end, it culminated in a really close, intense final.
So there's still plenty of enthusiasm amongst male adults, especially to play club rugby.
Yeah, it's always parochial. Like Clubland is brilliant because there's it's passionate and the community gets behind the game. It really is a rugby town. Or the community's involved in Buller. So yeah, so it was a great competition, and I guess we're looking forward to now the representative window.
Yeah, well, Nathan, congratulations on both of you for all the work you do for the union. It's fantastic. Nathan, you're multitasking as well. You're a referee like Andrew, and the rep selector coach. So I guess it gets a bit difficult sometimes to be mates and also send people off if you need to.
Yeah, it can be. We've been really fortunate probably over the last couple of years. Worked really hard at making the pitch a welcoming space for referees, and so the players' attitude in general has been fantastic towards referees and match officials. So we have very few problems, to be honest, John. And I think that certainly makes it more of an attraction to give back and to join in than it otherwise would be. So it's actually a pretty enjoyable job.
Well, it's the thing about small towns, isn't it? Is you've got to pitch in and help where you can, because otherwise things don't happen.
Yeah, that's right. And people love to go to rugby, and I think one of the other things that's made our club competition really interesting over the last couple of years is we don't have a dominant team. We don't have a dominant club team. We have 4 teams probably at the start of the season with a legitimate shot at winning the title. So we're really fortunate that the union also work with the clubs to enable every club to put a competitive team on the field, and it shows in the competition. It's close. We have a lot of close matches. I think the 3rd and 4th playoff was decided by 1 point. The 1st and 2nd playoff was decided by 1 point also. So yeah, those really add to the excitement of it, and every team's in with a chance at the back end.
Yeah, that's terrific. And Andrew, what about junior rugby? Is that the numbers pretty good there?
Yeah, numbers are pretty stable, John. What I would say is that the women and girls space here in Buller is really growing, and that's off the back of a bit of a strategy to look after our young girls who are coming through the system. We've employed a rugby development officer in the female space, and that's going really well for us. And so we are starting to see the numbers of girls taking up the game, and it's really bolstering our junior numbers, particularly in those small blacks grades under 13 and below.
And what a great shop window with the Black Ferns. I was lucky enough to see them give Australia a hiding a couple of weeks ago up at Redcliffs, not far here from the Gold Coast, and just wonderful rugby, and met some of the ladies afterwards. They're just beautiful people, really.
it's pretty authentic, isn't it? I think back to the World Cup, which was obviously really successful, not just for the team, but probably for the country, who managed to follow that pretty closely. And the rugby, the skill level is just phenomenal. So I imagine that we've seen some growth off the back of how that captured the nation. And guess we're just really looking to support that here and make sure that we can retain those girls in our system.
Yeah, Nathan, the representative team, the Heartland competition, that's starting pretty soon.
Yep, yeah, we've just named our wider training squad. We'll get together for a camp following Matariki weekend. We always play 2 pre-season games at least. So we always play Marlborough and Nelson in pre-season matches. And then we kick off the Heartland Championship proper August 12th up in Tarawhiti in Gisborne against Poverty Bay.
So Marlborough and Nelson games, are they for the Seed and Shield?
I believe so. It's sort of, what am I going to say here? Look, I think it's a wee bit diminished from the old days. So traditional teams travelled to opponents' venues and played, and there were legitimate Shed and Shield challenges. It's now a bit of a contrived format, so everyone meets at a neutral venue in Murchison, and to be honest, I don't even know how it works. Is the summary, like the semi-finals and a final or something, but we never get to play our local rivals West Coast in those Shed and Shield matches, other than in the Heartland Championship space. And I think Nelson and Marlborough always finish, play the last game, and it's almost acts as a bit of a selection trial for some Marcos-based teams. Is that fair, Andrew?
Yeah, so at the moment, West Coast are the current holders, John, and Nelson will get to challenge them next weekend, and we'll take on Marlborough, and the winner of our game will get a challenge the following week, provided it's not West Coast. So it is a little bit hard to explain. But yeah, hopefully we'll have 2 weekends. We'll play Marlborough and we'll play Nelson, and then as Nathan said, lead into the Bunnings Warehouse Heartland Championship weekend.
Yeah, I remember a great Buller victory I think it was about 1992 over Marlborough at Lansdowne Park in Blenheim, and I think Thomas Stewart might have been the captain there, or Glenn Alley. And I was a reporter in that game, and the boys invited me back for the aftermatch at the City Hotel. It was a great night.
Well, we can tell you a little bit about that because it was, what would that be, 30 years on. Last year we celebrated that particular game.
Yeah.
John, it was 42 points to 14 that Buller got up at Lansdowne Park.
Yep.
And we had three celebrations last year that we celebrated throughout our Heartland year, and it was great to reminisce with those guys. I think Glenn Alley was the skipper that day, and plenty of stories told last year when we managed to celebrate, and we put together a special jersey that we'd auctioned off afterwards as well. So yeah, that game certainly rings a bell to us. Yeah,
it's great when you celebrate past deeds like that. So Nathan, the rep team, what are your expectations this year, and do you bring in any outsiders like most teams do?
Yeah, so the Heartland Championship allows for 3 loan players. I think almost all of the teams will access that, in the modern era. So yeah, we'll bring in 3 loan players, but obviously the bulk of our squad, the other 25, 26, will be all local guys who have been playing in our local competition. Really difficult to set expectations early on, I think, in that sense, other than, we just absolutely want to prepare as well as we can and play as well as we can, set ourselves up for success early on, and probably, to be honest, looking to play some playoff rugby, which we haven't done for a wee period of time now.
And which trophy are you contesting this year?
So the top 4 in the after the round robin play for the Lahore Cup.
Yep.
And for the Meads Cup, I should say, and the middle 4 play for the Lahore Cup, and the last 4 drop out at that stage. So yeah, we're playing for one of those 2.
So you're confident you'll get a competitive side together?
Yep. We've had a really good club season. We've dialogued with a fair number of our players. We know we've got our players are really keen. we had an interesting season last year. We started really, really well. We probably surprised ourselves a wee bit, I think. Looking in the mirror at the end of round 4, we were sitting in the top 4, and I think we were probably going, wow, didn't think we'd be here, and perhaps got a wee bit ahead of ourselves, and we just missed out on a Lahore Cup semi-final spot in the end last year. So it was sort of tinged with disappointment, albeit a pretty successful season comparatively, yeah.
Your players, do they come from a wide area on the West Coast? I know the Bullers, it's commuting's not always that easy if you're out on a farm somewhere. Do you have much of an issue with that, or the boys don't? It's not a problem?
Oh, I wouldn't call it an issue. I mean, Westport and Reefton are rugby towns. I think they've probably always been historically rugby towns. Rugby league's probably never really had much of a foothold here in this town, and nor has football, soccer. So we're lucky. We get most of the sports people from most of those towns. I wouldn't say travelling's a problem. It's just a bit of a rite of passage, perhaps. That is something you get used to, and you're willing to sacrifice. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course the boys will have other jobs, no doubt. They've got it just like the old days. They play for the fun.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, there's no pros here, John. We're all Monday to Friday, and then we rip into the footy at the weekend and enjoy each other's company, and really look forward to it. And I think it's look forward to giving it our best shot, and look forward to feeling proud of our efforts is probably the key. And there's nothing worse than, having a beer after a shit performance, is there?
No.
In a team sport.
Yep.
And so our guys really do. They play for their teammates. They play for their town, and they play for those guys who represented our province with such pride. And you talked about '92, and goes all the way back to 1894. We're up to, I think, 1,063 representatives who have pulled on this jersey. And when you think about the history of this union, that's pretty amazing. So it's really important that we embrace that fantastic history and add to it.
Yeah, love the Heartland rugby. Andrew, what about local businesses? You get good support from the commercial sector on the coast?
I think we absolutely do, John. When you are an isolated region, and think about our away games, that we can't just jump down the road and catch a flight somewhere or come back to town after a game. We're spending a couple of nights at every venue, and so that does come at a cost to our rugby union, and we're really lucky to have local supporters that get behind our team. We have awesome community sponsors, and they just want to give us the best opportunity to excel. So really good support. We're looking forward to this year celebrating a Festival of Rugby Day. So our home game against West Coast, the big Rundle Cup clash, is going to be played at Orange Theory Stadium in Christchurch. So that's September the 23rd. So that sort of added extra costs that come to us. But as I say, our community are great. We have great supporters that allow us the opportunity to do those sorts of things.
Yeah, good stuff. And so, Nathan, when did you say the competition kicks off for real? You got 2 warm-up games and
2:30 Saturday, August the 12th.
Yep.
In Gisborne for us.
Yeah, Poverty
and
Bay.
For every other team too, Saturday the 12th of August.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
Poverty Bay, is it, the first game?
Correct.
Yeah. They're a pretty strong side traditionally.
Yeah, they're generally really tough, strong opponents and good fellows, really good fellows up there. So enjoyable trips. That's a good place to go and visit. Lovely part of the country.
Yeah, yep. Fantastic. Andrew, before I go, congratulations on completing the London Marathon too.
Yeah, thanks, John. That was a hell of an experience. I tell you, put me out on the rugby field any day.
Yeah, it sort of sorts out how tough you are, doesn't it? Mentally.
Yeah, I must get back out for a run. It's been a while since that happened, John.
Yeah, I bet that was a wonderful experience.
He's inspired our co-coach, John. So
Is he?
Andy's done the London Marathon, and our co-coach, Craig Adams,
yep.
Red, he's affectionately known as. He's going to do a couple of marathons through the middle of the South Island, running the Old Ghost Ultra in February 2024. That's an 85-kilometre expedition through the wilderness of New Zealand. So that's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
So,
Good on him.
Andrew and I, unlikely to tag along, but we might see him at Ghost Lake Hut. We do some commentating in that event from time to time.
He'll need some water at some stage.
Oh, you'll need more than water.
You're right about that. Fantastic. Lads, thanks so much for being guests on our show. We love the Heartland Rugby, and we'll be on board as Andrew and I have organised with Buller through the season. So we'll talk to you on a regular basis, hopefully, Nathan.
Oh, sounds great. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Really appreciate it. It's a great competition. 12 teams, good people, good blokes, and really enjoyable, way to spend your Saturday afternoons and late winter.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Thanks, boys. Much appreciated.
Awesome. Thanks, John.